Hey there, awesome folks. This is Mentor Shelley, wanting to make sure that you become a better version of yourself professionally, guys. I want to make sure that I'm here. Can you guys hear me? Put a like or press a one in the comments if you guys can hear me well. If you're not able to hear me, let me know in the comments. And of course, we are here to have some very interesting discussions about. Listen, there's no company, there's no human that is above accountability. There's no organization above accountability in any way, shape, or form, especially when there is reason to think and based on employment law in this country, in the United States, as to what it is that could be on the edge of being illegal and just being a downright scoundrel in just general treatment of employees. Today we are going to talk about the peoples we know as Amazon. Everybody loves them. I order from them quite a bit. All kinds of things. You know, office equipment. Sometimes supplements. It all depends on what it is. But today I'm going to have my HR hat on, although I have the crown as my hat. But today we're going to have a discussion about Amazon and some of its practices that are is to be honest with you, becoming problematic. So I want to dive right on in. I just want to make sure you guys are aware of who we're talking about and what it is we're going to get started with today. So this is article number 1. All the links for the articles are below, and also the laws that we'll be discussing today. Article number 1, an alleged Amazon delivery driver. Okay, this article, of course, is from Newsweek. It was written by where is it? It was written by Shira Bartow, and of course, let's see here. Yes, it was written by Shira Bartow and at Newsweek a couple of days ago. So here we go. An alleged Amazon delivery driver said he was sent home for his bodily needs in a video that went viral on TikTok. Of course, it's always TikTok. So it pretty much says, I got my packages, I got a van, and I was about to start my route, said the driver on Friday in a TikTok video with over 587 views, posting anonymously as you see the tag here, IJT Juice 3 says, but stopped at a gas station, to get a little snack for the road and to get a beverage. He went on to say that my stomach was hurting. I really had to use the bathroom. I used the gas station bathroom, right? Here you see the picture of an Amazon truck, typical. You guys see that everywhere. When I exited the restroom, the driver said, my supervisor was standing outside, posted up. He's like, what's going on? What's up? How you doing? He reportedly said to the supervisor. The manager or the supervisor said, go home, his manager allegedly said. According to the employee, his employee asked, why are you wasting time here? You're on the clock. Of course, the driver allegedly answered that he needed to defecate. Of course, he didn't say it like that. The TikTok videos below. He said his supervisor asked why hadn't he defecated at the warehouse, to which the driver replied, I didn't have to poop then. Because that's not the word that's written there, but you guys get the point. The moral of the story is I got sent home for taking a poop. So, Mr. Jeff Bezos, please contact me, said the employee. Guys, you can find this it's on TikTok, and I've played it before. Now, the article further says, working in Amazon, bathroom complaints have followed. Here's where I have the issue. Bathroom complaints have followed Amazon for years, including reports of workers being forced to urinate in bottles and push through injuries due to strict time targets. In a 2008 undercover investigator, James Bloodworth, report that fears of time wasting forced warehouse employees to use toilet bottle systems. Oh, Jesus. In Staffordshire, England. Okay, so it's not only happening in the US. The investigation was followed by many similar accusations across the US. Amazon drivers have reported urinating and defecating in their vans to meet delivery goal deadlines. A warehouse worker in Staten Island, New York, said they worked 60 hours during the prime week. After one shift, they fell asleep behind the wheel and got into a car accident. Y'all, wait a minute. Hold on. There's too much. There's so much going on right now. Like, a lot of this stuff is not let's see here. One moment. Let's see here. 1 second, guys. Okay. Literally, let me see here. The investigation was followed by many similar accusations across the United States. Amazon drivers have reported urinating and defecating in their vans and meet delivery goal deadlines. You shouldn't have to be in a job where the very natural instinct. Hey, you doing, Credit Solutionist? I'm reading this article and my heart is breaking right now. Oh my God. Another employee in Winchester, Kentucky, sued the company in 2019 for allegedly firing him over frequent bathroom breaks. The former Amazon call center worker said he suffers from Crohn's disease. There should have been an accommodation in place here, like their HR. Oh boy. We'll jump into that in a second. A former Amazon call center worker said he suffers from Crohn's disease, an illness that he disclosed to Amazon during his hiring that caused him the need to use more bathroom breaks. So why are you firing him for the very thing he informed you about? That's exactly why he had rights to sue, because they didn't abide by ADA accommodations. Okay, an illness that he disclosed to Amazon during his hiring and caused him to need more bathroom breaks that the company permitted. After initially dismissing the PP bottle stories, because it's still going on, you can't keep dismissing stuff if it's still going on. Amazon acknowledges that delivery drivers sometimes have trouble getting to bathrooms, although it denied this problem existed in its fulfillment centers. That is article number 1. Let me come up to the screen here. There are some things that are absolutely positively problematic with the bathroom break and the fact that they fired somebody for informing them that they had Crohn's disease, something they have no control over. That does push more bathroom breaks. That's a disease that it requires that. And the thanks that he gets for disclosing that, and they're supposed to accommodate that. Whatever happened to ADA accommodations? It's not like he's asking for anything other than, I need to use the bathroom more often because my I have a disease that actually Credit Solutionist. The fact that people have to use PP bottles says a lot about the level or the type of work or the amount of work that's given that's given to the employees. They don't give them a lot of leeway. They know the drivers, because as a past Uber driver or continuous Uber driver, I do it on occasion. As a past Uber driver, you're on the road constantly. Depending on where you are, that is going to be an issue. So all drivers, whether you're driving trucks, whether you're driving for Uber, whether you're driving for Amazon, that's a known issue. If you can find a bathroom when you need to use it, great. But you might be in a position where you're 20 miles away from a bathroom. And boy, that bottle is looking kind of because you have to relieve yourself. You are a human being. You're not a robot. And I think, unfortunately, Amazon pushes the level of work to a point where they are, from what I understand, are going to move in the direction of going with AI type of operations. I know they're building, from what I understand, they're building different warehouses where it's going to be fully automated process, because right now they're not treating the humans in their human resources properly. Somebody should not be sent home for using the freaking bathroom. Let's be clear. That's problematic issue number 1. Okay? So guys, I'm going to go over issue number 2 in a second. Let me see here. I'm going to have article number 2 pulled up. We're going to go through that, and we're going to also touch on some of the laws in regards to breaks and lunches and see what we need to get to. 1 second, guys. Let's go here. Let me see. All righty. Let me share my screen here. I'm getting better at this, y'all. I'm getting better at it. Let's see here. All righty. Now, the second article alarms me even more, guys. All right, guys. Something is happening in the home right now that I did not expect. Give me 2.2 seconds. I shall return. 1 moment, please. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Had to handle some personal stuff for some reason. I thought, okay, they're not able to. All right. All right, guys, let's continue. Article number 2. Let me put my glasses on, y'all. Yes, I wear glasses. Let me put my glasses on, make sure I'm seeing this right. Now, article number 2. Amazon. This article is from CNET. The link is in the description of this live, so you can go ahead and read it for yourself. But we're going to go over it right now. This article is written by CNET by Laura Halutala. This was actually written yesterday, or updated yesterday, I should say. Now, not only is Amazon, we're looking at them from a standpoint of they're not very compliant with allowing employees to have their breaks and lunches. They're also, based on this article, they're having some OSHA issues. Let's dive in here, guys. Amazon deaths under investigation as warehouse conditions draw scrutiny. The string of warehouse deaths are worrying in light of the complaints over heat and pace of work, advocates and workers say. In the span of a month this summer, 4 Amazon workers have died in separate incidents, while the details of each death are still forthcoming. Oh, Lord, help the school children, Jesus. All right, let's go further. While the details of each death is forthcoming, the fatalities shine an even stronger spotlight on the common complaint about Amazon. That it requires a brutal pace. I talked about that before. We're going to touch on that again. A brutal pace of work and puts employees at risk of injury and overheating. A range of circumstances surround the deaths. Rafael Ronaldo Mota Frias, 42, reportedly died of a heart attack in Carteret, New Jersey, as a Prime Day was underway on July 13th. Another worker, Roger Bolid, died after falling from a short ladder and hitting his head in Robbinsville, New Jersey. Alex Carrillo, 22, died 6 days after an August 1st forklift crash in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. The fourth worker, right? Let me see. The fourth worker, Eric Van Vadinsky, died after a workplace incident in Monroe Township, New Jersey on August 4th. The deaths are all under investigation by the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, which has 6 months to release its findings. Guys, I'm not surprised. 4 deaths in the space of a month? Houston, you have a big problem. Whew, let's continue. Let me see here. No. This is Amazon expressed condolences to all the families of the deceased. Each of these tragic incidents have affected our teams greatly, and we are providing resources for families and employees who need them, said Amazon spokesperson Sam Stevenson. Our investigations are ongoing, and we're cooperating with OSHA, which is conducting its own review of the event, as it often does in these situations. The investigations come at a time when Amazon already faces probes from federal and state regulations on work safety, as well as pushback against what they say are dangerous hot workspaces. Of course. The fact you don't even want your employees to use the bathroom. You don't even want your employees to use the bathroom. You're sending people home for doing the very thing a human does. Eliminate waste at unpredictable times. Hello? Whew. Now, oh my God. The investigations come at a time when Amazon already faces probes from federal and state regulations on workplace safety, as well as workers' pushback against what they are saying I want to read that again. What they say are dangerously hot workspaces. OSHA opened a broad investigation that will examine working conditions in Amazon warehouses in 3 U.S. cities: Chicago, Orlando, and New York City. Additionally, a group of workers walked off the job at an Amazon Air hub in San Bernardino, California in August, protesting hot work conditions and pay. The deaths also come as people re-examine the role of Amazon in their lives in light of dangerous working conditions reported by news outlets, advocates, and workers themselves. A group of 70 TikTok influencers signed onto a pledge in August, promising to close down their Amazon storefronts and wish lists, and to avoid entering their new agreements with Amazon to monetize their videos when users click through the Amazon marketplace. Called out by TikTokers, reports of excessive heat in warehouses and in trucks that workers must load and unload in the sun, in addition to Amazon response to union efforts in its warehouses. Now, it's starting to become very obvious, folks, that part of the reason it's such a resistance to they're so resistant to unions because their people are straight up dying, and federal regulators have to take a look at that. It's becoming a very dangerous place to work. You can't even use the bathroom based on the first article that I read. Come on, Amazon. We're gonna talk about it. Let me finish this up. Whew. Amazon is treating its workers like crap. Duh, yes. If I do say so myself. TikToker Asian Lefty said in a video pointing out worker complaints of hot workspaces and limited water, adding that he was joining the People Over Prime pledge. The Amazon spokesperson, Stevenson, pointed out that companies' warehouses have climate control. Our teams are trained to follow robust safety procedures. Apparently, they're not following it. People are dropping dead. Our teams are trained to follow robust safety procedures when operating during warmer weather. Duh, but they don't. Our policies meet and exceed industry standards of OSHA guidance, he said. That's great and all. It sounds like a PC statement, but guess what? People are dropping dead. They still have to look into what you're doing. Preventing future deaths in warehouses. It's hard to draw a broad conclusion from the 4 deaths, said Eric Fruman, the director of health and safety at a unionized affiliated strategic organization or strategic organizing center, adding that warehouse deaths are statistically rare throughout the industry. Still, workplace safety experts say the death raises questions, especially that most of them are either in somewhere in there, whether it would be with a forklift or they're just falling out off ladders. One workplace fatality is too many, much less 4 in the space of a few weeks. At the University of Washington's Department of Environmental and Occupational Health Sciences. There are also not the first fatalities Amazon has seen in the last 12 months. While it's unclear exactly how many Amazon workers have died in the company's warehouses over the years, the 5 employees and a delivery driver employed by Amazon's contractor died in a collapsed warehouse during a tornado in December. While OSHA investigated the incident and required Amazon to review its severe weather policies, yes, the deaths don't appear in 2 of the OSHA data sets that collect information on fatalities. When asked by CNET, OSHA didn't provide information on why the deaths weren't recorded in the data sets. In a statement, Amazon said it reports all deaths to OSHA in accordance with the law. Yeah, but you're skirting around and you're about to break some by not giving folks their breaks and lunches, and definitely people dropping dead might be a concern. In general, both fatalities and injuries were undercounted, Baker said. It doesn't mean that all the data we do have should be ignored or can't be relied on, she said. But she added, there needs to be more standardizations in recording injuries and deaths at work. Fruman, the health and safety director of the Strategic Organizing Center, added that OSHA investigations must be thorough to create prevention plans for the future. You think, Amazon? When looking into the Boland's death in Robbinsville, he said investigators have to ask why someone fell off of a 3-foot ladder in the first place. Exactly. Even if a similar fall does not lead to someone's death in the future, it could still cause serious injury. Regulators in the state of Washington have said Amazon workers often skip using tools like step stools or use them unsafely because they fear they'll be penalized if they slow down enough to use them correctly. Cybertech mom working a minimum. Let me see here. What did you say? Welcome, Miss Cybertech Mom. Working a minimum wage job anywhere and expect to be treated like trash. Amazon has deep pockets. They always get away with it. Oh, Lord. They shouldn't. And as a matter of fact, they are being looked into once again by OSHA, Occupational Health and Safety. They monitor they have to monitor this. This has to be something that looks into it further. Because they have deep pockets, that doesn't mean they're above accountability. That's one of the reasons I want to look at this further. Let me see here. Even if a similar fall doesn't lead to someone, for Motor Frias, who died of a cardiac arrest on Prime Day, investigators have to look at whether the heat and the pace of work made this emergency worse. Amazon, of course, has denied responsibility for his death. Company spokesperson Stevenson said the death was related to a personal medical condition. Amazon workers told the Daily Beast that the area where Mota Frias worked was dangerously hot, but Stevenson said claims that heat was a factor are false. Sorry, Stevenson, you're paid to lie. OSHA will also make the determination on the question, Stevenson said, adding, we fully expect that it will reach the same conclusion. A heart attack on the job can be work-related, even if it stems from underlying health conditions. Of course, because if it's too hot, your body is going to react to that. Fruman said, additionally, he said, workers who fear losing their jobs will often work through health scares. Fruman also believes it's worth looking into the fact that the deaths happened on Prime Day when advocates say increased production demands lead to higher injury rates. That's a big alarm, Fruman said. And I must agree with Fruman. Guys, I I have been in human resources for better part of almost 2 decades. And when you start seeing things like this, beware. When you start seeing things like this is an employer that only cares about production, only cares about moving product. They do not care. They're showing based on how they're approaching all of this. And of course, they're also in the news for for the employees wanting to unionize and how they are reacting to that. They're pretty much fighting tooth and nail to not be unionized. Amazon, we're gonna have to fire on you. Because right now, I also want to show the fact that all of this stuff that they're doing is malarkey. It is absolute malarkey. And here is why, folks. We're about to, let's see here. Let's stop sharing that for a minute, and I want to share something else. The breaks and lunches is not something, and breaks and lunches. I bring up breaks and lunches because breaks and lunches are usually the thing we associate. But I want to make sure that we're talking about this. If you work at least 6 hours, you're entitled to a 15-minute break. But it does not restrict. We're in Code of Federal Regulations, hours worked, general consideration. Of course, I know this is a lot of, it's referring to the jurisdiction on breaks and lunches. It's referring to standard. As a matter of fact, let me even go further. All right, guys. Let me even go further here. I want to make sure you guys see this. Wage and hour. Regulations on rest periods. We are humans. We are allowed to rest. We are not robots that do not require that type. Yeah. At the end of the day, folks, let me get back on here. At the end of the day, Amazon can be a decent employer. They just choose not to be. They can be a decent employer. They can give people breaks and lunches, but they are driven completely and totally by production numbers. And as much as I buy from Amazon, the way they're treating their employees is encouraging me to either buy less or stop patronizing their business altogether. People shouldn't have to get sent home for wanting to use a bathroom. There's something very wrong with the mindset. It's driven by complete and total production. It's not driven by anything else. Employees, based on the Department of Labor breaks and lunch period laws, which I do have, that link is also in the description of this video. They are allowed to use the break bathroom. They fired somebody. They told them they had Crohn's disease. One of the factors of Crohn's disease is using the bathroom often. And they fired them because they use the bathroom so often, although the employee revealed that. What? So an American Disability Act doesn't apply to you, Amazon? Yes, they have deep pockets, but accountability should not exclude them. I have a major problem with a company that sends somebody home for using the bathroom. I have a major problem with a company that is trying to skirt 4 deaths that happened in the space of what? Not even 4 weeks. And because OSHA is now looking into them, they're now saying, it's unrelated. You don't know that. If you have extreme temperatures, we are humans. Extreme temperatures is going to affect us when we're working and we're moving around. We're already losing electrolytes. You're doing things in the warehouse. And if the warehouse is 90 degrees, even in food plants where they have to be running ovens, they at least have the decency. They at least have the decency to provide water and Gatorade and electrolyte type of drinks to replenish the employees and treat them like humans. So yes, the work can be done, but you cannot keep pushing when they're it's coming from a depleted place. How do you expect them to function, Amazon? Or maybe the goal is to push the humans out so you can bring full-blown AI warehouses in. Maybe that's why. But I will say this. Yes, Amazon has deep pockets. I agree. Cybertech freedom. But I also say, how many people's death is it going to take for somebody to hold them to federal law? Because they're violating already. If that guy that got sent home for using the bathroom gets fired, he can sue for wrongful termination. The reason they're getting sued now by the employee that got fired for taking too many bathroom breaks when he had Crohn's disease is that they did not abide by ADA. They didn't even try to provide any accommodations because the race to the finish is more important than the very humans that help you make money in your business. When the focus is lost, hold on guys, let me grab this so this computer stays on. When your focus is so much on money and you forget that humans are in your organization, it's taking a very dangerous turn. And guys, of course, if you agree, if you disagree, come on and put some comments, put a 1 in the comments if you agree with me. They're taking a very dangerous turn, like Cyber Freedom said. Great solution is, she said, PP bottles. You laugh, but I've actually watched a couple of documentaries where you do have young ladies and young men that actually have PP bottles in there. It's a common practice among drivers that know that they're not going to be near a bathroom facility for a while. But it shouldn't be a common practice with Amazon drivers. And based on the first article that we reviewed, I see why that's happening. Why are employees trying to or having to do number 2 in a truck? They're not driving overnight like, not like tractor trailer drivers. There's something to be said. And unfortunately, we patronize the business that does this to people. And maybe we need to reconsider our patronage. But guys, if you're anybody that you know that is working for Amazon and needs to leave, because they're not an organization I would ever encourage, as much as I shop from them and it's supposedly convenient, now I understand some of those conveniences are costing people their very lives. It's not worth it. But if you know somebody that is working for them and they are looking to either get career strategy help, or they need some interview coaching as far as going on interviews for another job, definitely I do offer consultations at mentorshelley.com/consultations. I am here to help. If you know anyone that is working there and that needs to get out, because based on information that has been publicized before about Amazon. They really look to only have people there maybe 1 or 2 years tops if you're in the operations of things, because they know they wear people out. And I guess their goal is to have a fully automated type of warehouse. And if that's the goal, then more power to you. You don't have to worry about human concerns and laws when you're using robots and AI to operate your business. However, how you got here, how you get to the throne, sometimes is the very way you drop off the throne. So, Amazon, remember the human resources you have that's made you successful. Be very wise to treat them like humans and stop treating them like robots. Because OSHA is going to find something on these desks. 4 people in the space of a month. Time to clean house, y'all. It's time to clean house. So, guys, if you know anyone that does work there and they are looking to maybe skedaddle away and they need their resume updated or they need some interview coaching, I definitely offer those services. Have them go to mentorshelley.com/consultations. They are breaking lunch and break period laws. They're violating they violated ADA laws, which is why that guy that had Crohn's disease is able to sue them and probably win. I want to follow up on that case as well. As an employer, they're subjected to at least 300 plus employment laws. The accountability and liability has to land somewhere. And those 4 deaths should be in their lap. All right, guys, if you have questions, concerns, of course, let me see here. You know, credit solutionists, they do it, but there's accountability behind the scenes. They can keep doing things until the right lawsuit slaps them. I've worked for organizations where they kept firing people. They kept firing people for frivolous things till somebody sued them for wrongful termination and won. I'll use another example. There is a case. This case, about maybe 12, 15 years ago. You'd be surprised. They have things in place to try to prevent the lawsuit, but if you keep skirting around laws, it's going to eventually catch up to you. There was a huge lawsuit that happened between 2 East Indian, I think, Arab employees from Federal Express. Because people think, oh, these big companies don't get sued, or these big companies can get away with murder. Not necessarily. These 2 employees were being harassed because of their religious practices and because of who they are. Because they were Indian and because I think they either practice Hindu or Muslim. So they wore the headdress and things of that nature, which is also religious accommodations that employers have to abide by based on your religious liberties. And for a series of 2 years, these employees recorded, and documented the harassment they were receiving from this one manager over a 2 or 3 year period. Both employees sued. And granted, it's a long process, but both employees won a total of $7 million. Fired and got that manager fired. I am almost certain that a lot of company procedures, they made sure that those lined up with federal law. because that federal law came to bite them in the butt to the tune of $7 million. And of course, $7 million to FedEx, even back then, it's not a lot of money, but it's still something. If they're persistent, if you're persistent for your rights, La Tejeda is booming. Really? It's like a lawsuit never happened. Trust me, their attorneys and some of their policies changed. Whenever a company gets sued and they lose, I can almost guarantee, at least with the clients that was represented when I was working for a PEO, whenever they lost a case and lost money, it was more of a pride thing, more so than anything with a lot of these employers, because a lot of them were pig-headed and they didn't want to be told they were wrong. Yeah. So when they got their butts beat in court and they lost money, and I say millions or hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees, all of a sudden things change and they want to do the right thing after they get their butts beat in court. So, folks, if you are experiencing anything like this, or you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that's working for Amazon and need to get the hell out, because clearly, we get it. Big companies don't always win, especially not when they're doing this level wrong. 4 people died in your organization. Of course, OSHA's looking into you. You're lucky they don't have something else going on. They're probably just talking about just OSHA right now. Maybe some other things going on. You never know. But I digress. I want to make sure, guys, that you are not being subjected to anything like this. It does make sense. Because, a lot of those employers, you think, they things like nothing has changed. You think everything is all hunky-dory. Especially when they lose in court. Yeah. You better believe compliance becomes real important after that. Because number one, it's a blow to their ego. But number two, they realized they were wrong. And instead of admitting that they were wrong, it cost them thousands of dollars. Whoops. And as big as Amazon is, federal law is still federal law. Just like how Dave Ramsey violated at least 7 federal laws by firing that lady while she was pregnant and qualified for FMLA a year ago. At some point, accountability cannot be escaped, whether you're a big company like Amazon or a smaller company. Federal Express didn't escape, so why do you think they will? But at the end of the day, guys, I want you to make sure that you are working with organizations, not for, but with, because you're working for yourself. I always tell you that. You are in the business of you. And if you have a job, they're one of your clients. You're in the business of you first. Remember that, y'all. Remember that. You are in the business of you. Oh, yeah. They don't expect people to clap back till they do. Yeah, I'm sure if I really do go through on the DOL website and go check their cases, I can almost guarantee that lawsuit that guy is suing for right now, because they violated ADA law by not accommodating his Crohn's disease issues. But I'm sure I'll find more cases. But these are just 2 articles. If I start looking for their cases, I'm sure there's more, unless they've paid some money for it not to be public just yet. They do. Their pockets are long enough to do that, but the speed of the internet is something that has grown to their benefit, but it's also grown to expose them too. The internet has no chill for nobody, not even Amazon. So if you're out here doing right, wonderful. But if you're out here doing foolishness, you're going to get told on too. I can't keep up with TikTok, folks, because That's what caught my attention with this in the first place. Guy not even allowed to use the bathroom? Like, come on. Well, guys, of course, if you found this information helpful tonight, go ahead and like the video, comment below, and share this with a fellow Amazon coworker, or if you know somebody that works for Amazon, share this with them so they can look into it themselves. I'm sure they've heard of it or heard what's going on, or if they're on the internet, or if they read a lot, or just to kind of get an idea of what's going on. But yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely, Credit Solutionist. Whenever you're ready, let me know. We could definitely do a show. Because these employers ain't loyal. They're only loyal to their bottom line. So guess what? As employees, you have to be loyal to your pocket. And you're in the business of you. So you have to make sure that the type of employer you're with is an employer that is meeting the needs that you have at the moment, and you are being treated like a human and not a robot, like what Amazon's doing with their employees right now. Just based on these two articles, there's like 3 other articles that I found where they're getting sued for something else. They're under investigation, not just for these deaths, but from other things. There's a whole lot going on. If you open your eyes and read, darling, let me put my glasses on. If you open your eyes and read, darling, you'd be surprised what you find. Okay? But guys, of course, if you have questions, concerns, if you have questions about getting your resume revamped, if you're looking for help with interview coaching, of course, to get that next job if you're working for Amazon, because they treat y'all like trash. And of course, if you're looking for career strategy, let's say you want to take your career in another direction, but you want to make sure you have a game plan to do that efficiently. And of course, to make more money at the end of the day. Go ahead and check out my consultations at mentorshelley.com/consultations. Guys, if you have questions in regards to anything employee related, employer related, or career related, be sure to go to mentorshelley.com/contact, where you can leave me a voicemail or an email message, or I'm more than happy to help you with all of that. Once you leave me a voicemail or email message within 24 hours, guys, not all employers are created equal. But at the end of the day, you have to know your worth. And if you are being treated like trash, then have an exit strategy by getting your resume ready. Have an exit strategy by getting your side hustle on, so some of these employers can be thrown in the trash where they belong. All right, guys, take care. This is Mentor Shelley, wanting to make sure that you become a better version of yourself professionally. Guys, share this with somebody. Leave a comment below and like the video so others that are working for Amazon or were thinking of working with Amazon gets this information in their arsenal. All right, guys, take care. Have a good one. Bye.